Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. We have discussed this is the fourth day of your FTP program, MDP program, and we have discussed about the basics of Power BI. What is the significance of Power BI? In the day two, we have seen some of the few visuals, and the day three, we have seen the query editor. What is the advantage of using the query editor? What are the properties of the query editor and all? And today is the fourth day where we will be exploring more of the advanced visuals. So if you can see that there are many visuals which are there we have explored the first and the second row only, but there are many more visuals that can be used by you. So if you find any difficulty in the last 3 days, so quickly we can cover that, or if you can name those like doubts or etc. So I can just go through it and then we will be. Otherwise, at the end of the session, those who find the doubt, they can stay back and we can discuss the doubt. So any particular thing that
Ma'am,
can,
ma'am,
yeah.
yeah, sorry to interrupt,
Mm.
but ma'am, I wanted to understand the null value concept which you had covered in yesterday's session.
Mm-hmm.
Probably maybe after the session would be fine with me, and if you can, or if it is something relevant, so we can cover it right now.
Yeah, I think it can be covered right now. Like if you have seen that there can be the database, there can be the tables which has certain null values. There are the blank spaces. There that are basically the blank spaces which has by default has come to our table and which are creating the disturbances when we are linking the two tables. So we find that there are some missing values. So null values is basically if you define in the database or the data structure, the null values can be defined as the not applicable value or the not known value. Not applicable means which is not applicable, like say in the sense if you can say that the discount is being or say the promotion or the appreciation can be given to those employees who have the sales of greater than 15,000 or something, right? So those who are eligible, who are getting the hike or getting some incentive, and those who are not, they are not getting. So we get a null values on that case. So they are something which is relevant because the field or say the column is only filled for a particular value, those who are having a sales of 15,000 and more. But in our case, we find that there are trailing null values which does not have any data, but the values are null, which are creating a disturbance to our when we are doing the connections. So that's why we found that there are null values, and that's why there is an option in the one way is you can delete the null values, go back to the Excel sheet, delete the null value and add, and then again import the table in the Power BI. But what we found that there is an option where you can because there is a query editor and it has an intensive features, and one of the feature is where you can delete the null value or remove the null values. So we find that the null values are somewhere at the bottom of the sheet. So when I click on the null values, all the null values are removed, and that will be perfectly fine. We are able to connect the two tables in that case. Is it
All
okay,
right.
Amrita?
All right. So yeah, so ma'am, basically, we can filter also, right? We can filter and delete those null values.
Yeah, we do that in Excel. Yeah, we filter that. I think there must be the
I
feature
just
available.
forgot. I just forgot the tool which we had applied for null value. I remember you
Okay.
had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be
I
really
just
great
go
if you
through
can
that.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
So we had gone to the editor. right? You can, yeah, I think you are able to see the screen, right?
No, not yet, ma'am. Probably it is just loading.
Mhm.
Yes, it's visible, ma'am.
Visible, yeah. So it is available when you go to a particular table, right? Then you can go to home. There is an option called transform data. Okay? Click on the transform data. Because all the query editor option that is available in the transform data.
I know.
Yeah. It is taking time to. Yeah. So I share the screen again because there is a pop-up with the query editor. So this is the query editor, right? You can have the rows. There is an option called remove. There's an option called remove rows, right? So I can click here. Then there is an option called remove blank rows. So once you click on remove blank rows, it will give you, it will ask for a multiple option. Okay. By default, it has been, I think there are no blank rows, so that's why it has automatically, I think it has removed and that will be, that has executed. Is it okay, Amrita?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's clear now. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So we have seen most of the features, like say how the query editor, what are the different features which are there. We have seen the removal of columns, splitting of columns, and how to arrange in the increasing order, how to change the option, how to change the data type, etc. Right, and also the we have also seen how to use the first row as a header, because they, in many of the cases the first row is not coming as a header, that is the common row. The header, we have identified the header and it has been used. So any other doubt? I think there is one chat. Okay, madam, please share the data again. Okay. So Rohit, there were two data sets which has already been shared among. Okay, I will share it again. So we are working on the one data set that is on that I am we are doing here, that is of sales data, super sales data, and there is another data that is we are using it. There's another data set that I am giving you for the practice is for the MART data. So I will just share both the data with you.
So, ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, every time we have to transform the data
No,
which
no,
will.
no. Once you have done it, you can do, because we have already done many of the exercise based on that. So you need not have to transform the data again and again, because it is already, we have done clearing and deleting the null values, etc. We have changed the column, etc. I don't know, Rohit has asked for the data again, so that's why I had given to him. You don't have to use the data again. We have already loaded the data. You can use the same. Right. So,
Good afternoon, ma'am.
good afternoon, Yogita.
Yeah, ma'am. So I would like to ask, like, you are explaining like query editor, right? Where we can remove null values and we can have a header. But what else apart from that we can do in this query editor?
Query
Uh,
editor, yeah, you can try other options as well, because I have given you, or have explained you only those options which are required so far. So you
so
may try with the other options also. If I find that it is required, then I will be explaining you in today's class, or maybe the tomorrow's class.
okay, ma'am. So basically, it is used for cleaning of data, right? Cleansing the data or
So,
making it.
yeah, there are many more options which are there. I think you must have seen.
Fine, ma'am. I'll check. I'll explore.
You will check, or if something specific you want to be explained, I will do that. Right. So if you go
Yeah,
through, if you can give me the list of topics for the query editor which you are not able to explain, so I will cover that.
fine. Fine.
So now we can move to the advanced visuals that are very important, and that uh, I think that window was closed. So I have to open it. So I'm just trying to open, I think it was by mistake closed. So I'm just trying to open my window again. So by the meantime, I can use the fresh window. Because in my system, the Power BI takes a lot of time to open. So I just add the data again and do the respective this thing with the sales super sales data only. So are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So we try with the first visual.
Not yet, ma'am, not yet.
Okay.
It's showing working on it.
Maybe. Is it okay now?
Yes.
So if your visual, like say it has been said that the 13 milliseconds of the processing is the processing for the image is required, and it can be like 60,000 times faster in the processing result by the mind. Right. So mind, if you see some figure, or if you, so the able to understand is if you see, if you hear, that is 10%, 20% when we read, and 80% when we see. So that's why the visuals are more important, and it is for the decision making. That is one thing, and it gives you the edge of defining the different things. So that can be one, and it looks beautiful also. If you use certain images and all. So we are starting with the next visuals, and which is the first one is the ribbon chart. Right, to start with the ribbon chart, you can add on the ribbon chart, right? Now, so how to use the visual? So you have clicked on the visual. That is one. The second is you can click on the ribbon chart.
Please.
Your screen is frozen.
It is frozen. It is okay now.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first step is you have clicked on the ribbon chart, right? So this is the ribbon chart which is there. So you have to consider the different parameters to show in the ribbon chart. Let's say I start with the quantity. I have to find out the quantity, then by month and category. So how I can do that? In my order table, I have the quantity. So I select the quantity. I select the month. Quality, month, and quantity, month, and category. Quantity, there are three measures which are there. So either you can use the quantity or you can use the sales. So normally we are using these things only. And the third one is you can use the profit. Okay. So if I take the quantity, so it can be according to your wish or your analysis based on that. So second thing is I can take the month. So I have the order date. And the third one is the region, right? Third one is the category. So I take the category as the third parameter, that is the called as the category. So I have taken just a random three options which are there. So you can see that it is giving you the details of the whole all the days, right? Starting from January to different quarters, and it is like 2016 from January, February, and March. So what can I do is I can filter the data. I don't want year to be displayed. Do not want year to be displayed. I do not want quarter to be displayed. I want a month-wise data, right? So I can see that this is defined to be the month-wise data. So you can find out like how this data can be explored, or how this data can be there. So there are different properties which are there. The one is the month, that is on the x-axis. The y-axis, there is a quantity. The legend, which is defined as the category. So you can see that the phases which are there, like say you have the January, in the January month, you can see that there is a office supply, there is a sum of quantity which is there, right? So it is a bar. In between, if you can see that, if you want to see the rank of the different rank of the based on the quantity that supplies rank from in January to December, right? So there is a rank which is rank 1, or I think instead of category, if I can take country, then that will be better. So I think I can remove the category, a legend, may I can remove the category and I can take the states, or maybe the states I have, so I can take the states. So if you can see the rank of the different category, like February, New York is ranked at rank 1. So you can have the different options which is there. If you want to make it as the top 5, then you can make it as top 5 so that it can be better. So how you can make it as rank 5? State with quantity as top 5 or top 10, then it is more visible, because you can see that there are different bars of this, right? So this is the bar of California. So the top bar is of California. If you can find out that it was rank 1 since the starting, right? So California is rank 1 since the starting and till the end. Similarly, if you can see that there was this particular, like New York is, sometimes it has started from the rank 1, rank 5th, and then it has been moved to rank 5. Then it has moved to Washington, has been moved to rank 2, and then finally it has come up to rank 2. Right. So like the bars which are there. So earlier we used to use the bars, but in bars in between, if you can see that there are ranks also which has been defined. So instead of quantity, quantity means the number of purchases, number of times the purchases has happened. So number of times purchases has happened in California is the highest. That has been increased by the sum. If you can see the change, there is 11% increase from November to December. Right. So this can be the analysis where you can find out how there are different options which are there and how it can be considered.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
just one question. In the legend, as of now, we have the quantity. Can we add a profit also? I mean,
Yes,
is there any
yes.
possibility that we can compare both? If we can add. So the
Yeah.
quantity wise, the states, and profit wise, the states.
Because then that will become too clumsy. Because then we have, you can always do that. I will try that also. Right. So you can see that there are different bars. So I think it has taken as profit because there was loss and then it has been grown. So if you compare the loss and profit, you can get this figure, because then you can see that the California, which has been considered to be the profit in terms of the quantity sale, but otherwise when you talk about the in comparison to the profit, there is a low profit in terms of October when you compare with October. Right. So yes, you can do. It has considered terms for the profit also, and I think it has replaced, I think, the things has replaced, it has not covered, considered both. So both the is not considered, but it has taken only the profit.
Okay, okay.
So in that case, so what you can do is, if you want to consider the sales as well as profit, you can take the difference and then you can consider that. In that case, you can have a this thing. But
Okay,
let's say when you have a, so we can have two different charts in that case because it has not considered both.
Okay. Any possibility to create a video here, having number of slides, giving a timer?
Yes, that is there. Not timer for the number of slides means you want to say that the
Suppose
page one
in,
to page two.
yeah, in page one, I have the profit, and the second page, I come out with quantity. So, and then I give a timer. So, and then it just plays a video.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of noises. Timer I have not seen, but there are different tabs you can add on, like buttons you can add on where you can switch from one button to another button. So that I have seen in one of the possibility where one has explained some like add-ons based on based on the buttons. But obviously, I think there must be some option for the timer also because it has many add-ins. So there must be something which is which must be there. The
Okay.
sequence of menu to be followed. Yeah. So if you can see that there were three different things, like say we have considered the order date, which is as at the x-axis. So there can be the x-axis. There are the bars which you have to put, and the third one is the legend. Legend is is somewhat which is considered to be a considering to the as a growth, and where you want the details to be put in when you take this when you want to consider for a rank, etc. Right. So what is the change from one month to the another month? So in that case, you can consider that. And there is one more thing that you can add on to this particular sheet is the zoom. So if you can see, if you can find out like there are properties. There is a zoom slider, right? So it is off by default. I can make it on. So there is a zoom slider which has added to your graph, right? You can see that left hand side there is a zoom slider which has added on. So what you can do is you can see the zoom in and zoom out, and you can find it out how a specific change or a specific change if you want to find out. So that can be seen because it has too many countries, too many states. So that's why it is this thing, right? So you can see by zoom in and zoom out how it is going to be like if I click on this and zoom out. So by default, it is zoom out. If you want to have the zoom in to a particular, then that can be done. Right. So I think instead of country, if I can take region, so there must be number of this thing which is less. So I can try for the number of region. Maybe instead of state, I can try for the region. So if that is there, then you can explain it with respect to zoom in and zoom out. With respect to, like, say, it has been increased from the higher range, and the right hand side, you find it that the highest value which is there. So it will be considering, like, say, the highest value which has come in at the right hand side at the top. So whatever be the, like say, which month, which east is having a maximum value, so that is coming at the right top corner. So you can easily identify that which is my maximum sales or maximum profit region. So that is the right hand side, and the top region is the got the maximum value.
Ma'am, how did we get this crawl bar, the slider?
Yeah. Yes. How, where to get slider?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can go to the format visual, click on the format visual. There is a zoom slider. So you just have to, by default it is off. If you make it on, then you can use it. I think there must be other options also. You want a slider of a label, or you want a x-axis. By default it is on the y-axis.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, sir. Saroj, sir.
I could get the facts or results. Just please, madam, repeat the menu to be followed in order to get this chart.
To get this set, yes, I do that. So you can go to the visual first.
Okay.
Visuals, yeah. Then there is a chart called this ribbon chart.
Okay.
Yes, click on the ribbon chart. Yeah. So we have taken X. There are three axes which is there. The first is the x-axis, y-axis, and legend.
Yes.
So x-axis is where it's a category like month we have chosen.
Yes.
Then we have chosen profit for the y-axis. And the third is the legend, where we have chosen the, it can be region, or it can be based on your requirement. So we had put the region here.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Then.
Yeah. And then we have moved to the next, that is a format of visuals, and make as slider as on.
Okay. Okay, madam. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Got it.
Right. And others you can do, like if you want to make this legend off, if you want to make this x-axis, y-axis off on, that we have discussed in the day before yesterday class. So you can beautify it by putting the different colors, labels, etc.
So, ma'am, region we are going to keep it here on x-axis, right, with the category one?
Category, you have to choose, like say, which you want to get the flow. Like say, I have taken from January to December. You can do vice versa also. I think the only display is because I have to see the change from January to December. So that's why I had taken it in the x-axis.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Right. So this is the chart. You can rename this chart as the chart which is the ribbon chart. RIBBONCHAR, right? Now we can move to the next chart, that is called as the decomposition tree. Maybe decomposition tree, right? So decomposition tree. Let's start and find out what the decomposition tree will do. So this is the decomposition tree, right? You can have it. So it has been placed here, right? So it will be helping you to find the different, like say in the day before class, we have discussed about there are many orders which are placed, but there must be some orders which are returned. Right. So if I want to find out the sales, right? So if I select, okay. So in this chart, I can select, I can put the first label as a first label you have to put as number, right? So it can be sales. Now the total of sales can be depending upon, like say, if I want to find out the region, right? or if I want to find out which people are involved into it, right? So or maybe the region or the people which are involved into it. And thirdly, I can have maybe say, okay, let's say for the order return. Right. So what I have done is I want to identify, I have to find out the total number of sales, which region it is, which person which are involved, and how it is return may go for, okay, I will just search for the region and person, right? Which are the region which are involved and who are the person which are involved, and then we can add on some extra things into it. So if I go for this particular plus, right? So if you go for, if you click on this, it will ask for you want to go for higher value or lower value, right? So you can select based on that, it will be highlighted. So if I say that I want to find out the region with a higher value, right? So there are the different, so you can see that there is an arrow and it is showing you the west, east. So it has considered all the equal bars, and it has the bar which is being covered, or say which are, so you can see easily the difference. The west is doing good and as respect to the other. You click on the plus again and there is a person which is left, right? So you can click on this again. So it doesn't make any purpose because the west may there is a one person which is involved. Then you have the another person which is involved in, right? So there are different persons for one for each region. So it doesn't make any sense, right? So instead of region, we can have maybe I can look for states. A region may I can look for states. So the west region, we have the California, which is doing better. Then there is a Western one, then there is Aroma and this. Then for the east region, we have now for the east region, there is a plus sign. It is not appearing, but there is a plus sign here. So it is the New York, which is doing better as compared to others. Then we have central region. So in the central region, we have states called, these are the 4 states. Texas is doing better, and then you have South, and which are doing better in South is there is some visual problem, I think. I'm not able to see the plus sign. So these are the South regions. So there is a Florida, there is a where the Florida is doing better. So inside the state, if you want to consider something else, like say you want to consider maybe the city, then you can do that also, right? So it is more or less, it will be more digging down the data in the decomposition tree. And if you want to, you can delete also and you can block also. Like say, if you want a particular region to be displayed, right? If you click here, if you, right, then you have to add it up again. So what you can do, if you want a certain things to be fixed, then you can lock also. So once you have locked the first region that will be displayed as the lock, which is the region is locked. So when once you select this, so you automatically get the region, and then you can make it as a flexible for the states, right? So based on the selection of the state, you will be getting the details. So here you can, instead of sum of sales, you can have a discount also, or if you want a return, how many sales or how many like instruments has returned for how many, for which region, which state, then it can be done like, say, you can, because we have already joined these two tables. So if I go for a return, if I go for order, right? So first is the sum of sales, and if I open this lock and make it as, if I add, or say if I remove this and make it as return. So I have to identify it. I have to look for the only for the return options. So I have used the return option first. So I have taken all the return options, right? So there are yes for the return option. And if I, so this much amount is there for the return case, right? Now this is the sum. This is the total sales. This is which is come out after the return. Then it is which region. And if I want to find out the return, yes, from which state. So I can see that there is a maximum sales. So there was a maximum return. If you want to find out the category wise return, like say which category of the things which are normally returned. So if I go for like say return and I go for the category, right? So how many of them are returned and which category it is? So technology, you can see that the technology which has been returned, and if you can see the region which has been involved into it. So which region of technology that has been considered to be in the removed is the West, right? And then the second case also, so the region wise also you can do search, you can do city wise, country wise, right? So or maybe the person wise, so you can find out like which person has been involved for most of the return, right? So there may be some, if you want to go for some appraisal or kind of thing, and if you want to identify that which persons has got the maximum return, right? So if I go for a technology and if I go for a person, so I can see that for the technology, how many like there is for in the technology there is Anna Adhay which has a maximum of return. Then in case of like again the same person has a maximum of return. Right. So maybe she has given the maximum sales, so that may be the case. She got a maximum of return, and the minimum and the sales again that got the minimum of 29,000 something based on the technology, and technology has a maximum return in terms of the orders which are placed, in terms of the items which are there. So I think I have covered. I just see if anything is left. So decomposition tree, we have seen how the tables can be there, and based on the filling data, you can find out the details of like which is considered to be the profit or loss, or what is the number of sales and all. Right. Then now the next is, so is it clear? This graph is clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Ma'am, where we could find this people and return table? I'm not able to locate that.
Return table, we have yesterday we have worked upon the three tables: the order table, people, and return. So people, we had made a connection between the people and return. They were you may have added only the order table, because I have the sheet which I have sent to you. It has three tabs: order, people, and return.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
So this chart that we have created is the decomposition, right? So you can rename it as decomposition tree. So now we can move to the scatter plot. So you can add the scatter plot, right? So next is scatter plot, SCATT. Right. So you can take all the numbers, that is, first is the sales, right? So the values will be coming as the sales. Then you can take next as profit and the quantity. Then you can have the rate. So this is what is the bubble chart is, which says that because we have taken 3 dimensions. The first dimension is the sales, second is the profit, and the third dimension is the quantity, which is based on the sales and profit, right? So sales and profit is the dimension, like say it has sales is somewhat around 50, 40, between 4 to 5. And then you have the profit is somewhere around 80, and this is the quantity. So the bigger is the quantity which is sold, the bigger is the bubble, right? So it is considered to be the 3 dimensions. So the smaller is the bubble, the smaller is the sales, smaller, less is the quantity which is being sold, right? So you can see that as we are increasing, as we are towards the increasing zone, we can see that there is a, because there is a more sales, so that because of more quantity which was sold. So this is also called as the bubble chart in case of Excel. If you have seen, if you have drawn a bubble chart. Yes, so are you able to make this chart? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we have seen the bubble chart. We have seen this chart, that is a scatter plot. Then in the visuals, if you can see, there is an option in the scatter plot. If I can put a play axis, okay, just try something else. Play axis as month. So x-axis is sales. So if I take x-axis as sales, y-axis as profit, then quantity as legend as date. Size as quantity.
So ma'am, again, we are working on scatter chart.
Yeah. So I just want to show you one feature which is there, so that. So by default, I have covered, I have selected, and it has automatically, because the power pivot is, or pivot, like Power BI is, it automatically recognize, that is the AI feature that it recognize and place the dots accordingly, right? So you don't have to, so when we double click it, it will automatically assign according to his judgment. So I'm just trying something else also, so that how it looks like.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Right. So if you can see that there is how that is over the time when you find out that the January, when we have put this sum of sales, right? According to this play axis, we had put as month, right? Play axis, by whatever you put as play as axis, then it will be according. So when you put this slider has automatically come. You can see that if you concentrate on the California, right? So California, this is the purple bubble. So how it has been moved from like say from January to December. So if you want to put the legend also, so the legend is more this thing, legend I have already put as state. So I don't know why it has legend is state category label category, right? Maybe I can put values, right? So you can see the how the sum of say if you see the slider, it will start from January. So January, if you start with the January, like this is what the California is, right? So if you see that how the California has moved from January to December, as it got a maximum of sales, so you can see that the performance from January to February, it has been at the uh, top, then it has been at the second top, and then finally at the top. Right, so this is the option which has put the slider when you use the axis, when you put something on the play axis. So play axis, I have put the play axis in month. So it has been shown me from January to December how the different countries has being to be the first sales at the first rank and maybe at the second rank, etc. And based on the details you have considered, you can see that there are the sum of sales which is there based on the quantity, the bubble is there. So left hand side is the profit, right hand side is the sales, and we had taken over with respect to month, because month is something which is from which is growing from January to December, right? So January to December you have the data. So based on the aggregate data of different years, you can find out. If you can take year also, then it will be considering from for the year 1 and then the year 2. Right. So if you put the order date in the play axis with respect to, I have taken only with month. If you take with year also, right? So you can see that there was, okay, I just, so in different years, it has not displayed the different years, but it has considered on the basis of from starting from the year 1 to year end. Or maybe I have to put hierarchy in that case. I just month to, okay, I will delete the month and I put again, and I put, okay, I put with year and month. Right, so in this way you can try it out. You can check out how the different, how you can play around with the data with respect to the different different columns as well as the rows, and you can work upon with the you can use in the research also, you can use in presentations also. This kind of graphs are helpful for you. Apart from this, if you can find out, like say if I go to take you to the next map, right? So there are options, like say when you see this 3 dots, when you click on these 3 dots and go to get visuals, right? Click on get visuals. So this is not there in Tableau. If you can see that the Tableau doesn't have these features where you can add these many maps which are there, right? Where you can add on as an app, and that will be available in your interface. So, like say, if you click on this all, you can see that what are the different apps which is there for the correlation, right? So if I click on the correlation, so these are the different diagrams, or these are the different ways where I can use the correlation, right? So if you want to do, I think someone has asked about the how we can do the analysis with respect to this, with respect to the Power BI. So there are different charts which are there with respect to correlation, with respect to comparison. So you can select the chart, you can use that chart. So you can see that there are different charts with respect to comparison between the one to another. You can have, so some of the charts which are there, like bubble, we have already used bubble chart, but this is again a bubble chart with different, some of the apps which are free, so that can be downloaded, that can be added to your visuals, and some are paid. So accordingly, you have to see which are paid and which are free. And then there are flow diagrams also, like you can have different flow diagram, Gantt chart, flow chart that can be prepared. So we can try a few charts with this. So there is a map, right? So it is a three-dimensional map or something with different look and feel. So some basic features are there, but if you want to have some detailed features, so that can be considered from here. So I go for the chart that is called as I search for, I have written few charts which we are trying. So there is a bow and tie, right? So what you have to do is you have to say, because I have already installed, so that's why it is okay. I have used map maybe because of that. So I have you have to use all, and there is a bow tie, TIE, right? So there is a bow tie. If you write 3 words, you will be getting. So this is a bow tie chart. So you click on this bow tie chart and add. And once it is clicked, then you have to add. You have to click on add here, right? So these charts may be similar to, if I click on add, because I've already loaded. The bow chart is already there. So it is asking for, do you have the visual exist? Do you want to update? So I said cancel. So bow tie I have already installed. So are you able to install the bow tie chart?
No, ma'am, still it's
Okay. So you can install bow chart, then you can install box plot. Maybe waterfall.
Ma'am, how to install? नहीं हो रहा.
नहीं हो रहा. You have to go to this 3 dots, right?
Okay.
Go to get more visuals. Then search here with like bow tie, right? Then click on bow tie.
ईमेल
And
मांग रहा है ना पहले ईमेल डालना होगा इसमें.
हाँ email मांग रहा. हाँ क्योंकि I have already returned the email, so मेरे इसमें हो गया. And click on add, because it is connecting through internet and adding the tab. Na? That's why it is asking for email.
So that Microsoft account or work at school account.
It is installing. मतलब yeah, when you are putting the email, it is installing. Or otherwise, you have to first log in and then try to download. Because there is a login option. Earlier, we have not used that login option.
so now how can we use the same for our research?
Same for your research, like say if you want to categorize, like category wise, if you want to display, or if you have some data like this, right, then it can be considered, it can be like how much category of data, like we do the exploratory analysis at the starting, right? How many are male and how many are female, right? So you can use this chart to display for the females, how many are it coming under the category of maybe salary with greater than, less than. So demographic data can be, because it is a category data, so it can be easily be considered. So out of the total amount of data, how it can be segregate to the different levels. So you can easily explain, like we do the pivot table, right? The pivot table is something where it is in the tabular form. But if you want it to be in the picture format in terms of the figures, so so you just have to copy and paste. You don't have to draw and write the actual number. So if you want to have a count of, so you can do that. है ना, उसमें
ईमेल डाल रहे हैं उसके बाद भी नहीं हो रहा है।
हाँ, मैं
नहीं
ईमेल
होगा।
डालने के बाद भी नहीं हो रहा है।
तो
वो
what you can do is,
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट अकाउंट मांग रहा है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट
हाँ,
अकाउंट भी डाला
Microsoft.
मैंने, अदरवाइज भी नहीं हो रहा। आई कैन शेयर माय स्क्रीन, देन यू कैन चेक।
Even mine is also same problem.
same problem.
Yeah.
Ma'am, actually it's cloud based, no? That's why it's taking more time.
ऑलरेडी मैम स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रही है अभी,
Maybe because of this, share नहीं. Okay.
किसी और का स्क्रीन शेयर हो रहा है
Are you नहीं, मेरा स्क्रीन शेयर था क्या? Are you able to log in to the Power BI? आप log in कर पा रहे हो?
अभी स्क्रीन शेयर हो रहा है मेरा।
At the top there is a sign in option ना. हाँ, ज्योति आपका स्क्रीन शेयर हो रहा है. This sign in option, you just put elementary details and sign in at the top. You just cancel it.
ओके
Top में sign in option है. Yeah, so you just put your element. Actually, it is asking for the same.
It is asking for your Microsoft account.
Microsoft account.
वो मैम अभी
We
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट
don't have
अकाउंट,
Microsoft account.
आउटलुक आईडी है वो भी नहीं ले रहा है इस पे। और ये क्रिएट कैसे करना है माइक्रोसॉफ्ट अकाउंट, ये भी नहीं दिया है।
If you say use this account, the first option, if you say use this account, then first option.
हाँ ये तो यूज है बट इससे नहीं ले रहा है मैम, मैंने किया अभी
नहीं
से।
लेगा. Okay.
अनेबल टू साइन इन, रिट्राई विदाउट वेब अकाउंट मैनेजर।
Web account.
अकाउंट वही सेम आईडी आ रहा है यहाँ पे, वो नहीं रहा।
नहीं.
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट अकाउंट बनाना पड़ेगा इसके लिए।
Because I already have this Microsoft account, तो maybe इसीलिए उसने ले लिया होगा.
ओके आप, मैं बाद में ट्राई करती हूँ बना के।
हाँ, बाद में ट्राई करना. और मे बी आपको कोई मेल आई होगी रिलेटेड टू टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस, तो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का कुछ ईमेल आया होगा माइक्रोसॉफ्ट की तरफ से मे बी.
नहीं
So this is again one of the options. I just show you in my computer. तो आपको जब भी इसको आप यूज कर सकते हो. These are the options also which are available. You must know.
ऑप्शन कर दीजिए, देन वी विल ट्राई।
हाँ, you will try.
थोड़ा सा मैसी हो गया, 3 चीजें थोड़ी सी कंफ्यूजिंग हो गई है, मे बी मैं बाद में भूल दूंगी इसको।
So like say if I go for a bow chart, so same उसी तरह से you click here. Okay, I go for a bow tie chart. I click on the bow tie. Right. So this is the bow tie chart. I will try for sales, region and month, right? So I will try for sales. यदि आप bow tie देखोगे तो it was asking for the first parameter as the number, and then region and month. Right. So it asks for source and destination. Right. So it's the source ले लिया आपका. It has considered to be like source as region and By default, it has taken this, right? If I put the source as my sum of values, right? So by default, it will take, like when you double click it or when you simply click it, by default, it will take. So it says that according to the artificial intelligence, the main used details it will be considering, right? So we will try to change the details. I will try for the sales first. So I will try. to
प्रॉफिट और लॉस
start with-
निकालना है अगर
profit or loss. So you can take as source as profit. अच्छा, source वही ले, source नहीं लेगा, it is only taking as values of this. And हाँ, तो ये आपका ये start हुआ, it has started from here with the profit. So January, February, you can see the profit for different years, different months. So December में सबसे ज़्यादा profit है. And if you category month के अंदर, if I can put month and something else, I will try that also. So month के साथ I am able to. So there is only one thing which is coming in, like that's why that particular chart is more this thing where you can have, or if I select this and if I can have segment. तो वो दोनों साइड ही ले रहा है. It is considering it as a something as a source and something as a destination. And there is a contribution of consumer, corporate, and home. And then finally, based on the bar, based on like the thick is the bar, the more consumption is there, and more sales are or more profit is there. So this is how it is considering. It is coming from different sources, and then the profit is being transferred to the different things. So this is one bow tie chart which is there. Then there's another chart which is waterfall. If you can see the waterfall chart. So these are the few charts which I thought that has to be known to all. So when I click on the chart, if I put month-wise sales, profit and quantity, right? So if I put month, if I take month and I put sales, profit and quantity, or by chance you can only look for profit first. So this is the profit which is there, which has been increasing from January to December. If you want to go for month-wise, or if you
मैम ये
want to.
कौन से चार्ट है, नाम रिपीट कर
ये
दीजिए.
आपका है next chart is the box, this one, waterfall. So इसमें it is starting from this, so November में इतना है, then it is taking ahead from November to December. So इसमें you can include, there is an option where you can include other factors also, like say the quantity. If I take the profit, sales and profit together. So there is the sales and profit together. So sales and profit. Okay. So as when you take, so it is showing me the sum of sales, sum of profit, and it is taking the result as 2K. Okay, for the sales, I think it has been added to all the sales. So the result it is automatically giving. Month-wise, this is month-wise. So similarly, you can try for the other, because it has to be month-wise, because you can see that how the the fall is being increasing from month to month. So that's why we have considered as month-wise. Then there is another option called box plot. I think you must have used this box plot in R, if you know R. right? So box plot is something which will give you a exploratory analysis of the things where it will be talking about minimum, maximum, then the first quartile, third quartile, median, and average. So if I want to find out the year-wise, if I take year-wise sales. So this is the year-wise sales, which is giving you all the details. If you can see in this, like say it has a median, it has a maximum, minimum, then mean is there, average is there, median is there, first quartile, IQR, then the upper Vischer and the down. So it is in the box plot, it will be showing you this is the minimum, this is the maximum and minimum at the top. So you can easily find out what are the the outliers that can be identified. So there is, so if you want to identify, like this is a year wise, like if there is a, maybe it has 1 year data. So if you go for month wise or quarter wise, so if I drag and drop the quarter here, actually it has considered only either a year or a quarter. So if I take month, month-wise sales and region, right? So this is, I have considered for region also. So you can see based on that, it has a maximum value and there is too much of values, like say it is towards the down. So there are few values which are more, but the most of the values, so that it has an average, median, and quartile 1, quartile 3 is at the lower side. So it is too much of spread in the data. This is quite normalized data because it has no like minimum and maximum. There is no much difference. It is somewhat standardized. So this is how you can do the statistics based on the box plot, which you can work upon. Then there is a tree map also. That is one of the options. So tree map, I think that is here only. So you can try a tree map. Tree map, this one. Okay. There is a tree map option, which is very, very important. If you can find out, if you want to quickly find out how your data is, tree map, how your data is defined and how it has been considered over the over a particular region, right? So if I consider the region, if I consider the region and the sales, right? So you can see that the south region has the maximum, say based on the size of it is starting from the west. So west May you have seven something, then you have 6. So then you have, so left hand side topmost is the highest one, and based on the sales it has been divided into 4. If you want to identify some different category, if I go for month wise also, right? If I add on the category called month also, so you can see the hierarchy. So it is considered to be the minimum at the lowest corner and maximum at the highest corner. So for East, it has been given as East May, January to December, then month. So it is too clumsy, so I can remove this. I can add some other attribute, which is like maybe the segment, right? So this is the segment which is there. So you can see the South region, so West region, which has all the 3. Then East region, which has all the 3. Then you have Central region, all the 3. So top is the highest sales and bottom is the lowest sale, right? Similarly, west is the highest, west of consumer is the highest sales in all the 12 regions. So if you divide like 4 3s are 12. So all the 12 regions mein West consumer is the highest. Then you have East consumer is the lowest. Then you have West corporate. Then you have East corporate. So in this way, it has been divided. So the lowest one is the right bottom, means the home. So home with the south is the least one.
मैम इसको एक बार फिर से रिपीट कर दीजिए.
इसको.
Yes, ma'am.
So have you able to create this chart? No. Are you able to create? Okay, I will show you how to create. So I have taken two. So firstly, I have to take the sum of sales, right? So I have put maybe the profit or sales, whatever be you want to take it. So this is the
ये कौन सा चार्ट सेलेक्ट किया है आपने?
ये हमने किया है था ये वाला ट्री, this one tree map.
Okay.
Ma'am, so tree map is there, you know, in the visuals. We
Tree
don't
map is
have
there in
to.
the visual. Yes, you don't have to add. Tree map is there in the visual. So I have added sales. With sales, I want to bifurcate maybe the region. So I have taken region. So you can see it has been divided into all the 4 regions. इसका automatically इसकी alignment कैसे होती है? The top left top is the highest value, whatever be the value of sales, the left top is the highest. Then it will be the lowest at the bottom, then highest means when you are moving from left to right. So right bottom is the lowest value. Okay. So like if you want to categorize, like say which particular region or which particular category is doing better, segment is doing better in West region, right? So once you have added the another category called segment, so West May consumer is having the highest sales. Then you have East consumer is the second highest. So it will go like this, right? Then you have 22, then 20, then 36, then 27, and so on. And the left bottom, right bottom is the lowest one. So even इसमें भी you can have a count of, like here we have some. So if you want to display as a count, so you can define the count of individuals. Like so यदि आप exploratory analysis करें तो you can show that how many male, female, and then further how the count has been divided into the different regions. So you can say that according to your consumer, you have the more number of males or more number of females. Female with this occupation is somewhat is having a count more in your demographic analysis.
मैम मेरे में तो सिर्फ 3 ही रीजन शो कर रहा है.
3
रीजन ही आ रहे हैं.
3 regions आ रहे हैं. Regions के बाद then you can select a segment.
Okay.
क्योंकि region are north, west and south, है ना? 3 regions are there and east. So now you can select the segment also.
हाँ. एक तो आ रहा है कंज्यूमर, कॉर्पोरेट,
हाँ.
सेंट्रल, साउथ.
कॉर्पोरेट. हाँ, तो इसको रीड कैसे करेंगे? जो आपका टॉप मोस्ट लेफ्ट टॉप होगा, लेफ्ट टॉप इज जैसे इसमें वेस्ट कंज्यूमर है, so it is having the highest value, highest sales है इसके. So instead of
दोन मिस आउट झाले करायचे.
का माइक ऑन है.
तर कसं करता येईल, कोणाला देता येईल आता ते?
So instead of reading or going for each and every value, तो आप ऐसे देख सकते हो, जो लेफ्ट टॉप है that is the highest value, highest sales, और जो आपका right bottom है that is the lowest sales according to the value.
अभी नेक्स्ट इसमें सेल्स या प्रॉफिट को डालेंगे.
हाँ,
इसमें हम आगे अपनी सेल्स को ऐड करेंगे, प्रॉफिट को ऐड कर सकते
हाँ
हैं।
सेल्स को ऐड करें, हाँ सेल्स को ऐड कर सकते हैं। दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग कि यदि आपको डेमोग्राफिक डिटेल जैसे रिसर्च में हमें देना होता है, so you can have male female and then you can have different occupation, or you can have count कि आपका जो count है वो किस तरह से distributed है। तो आपका जो count है that is being distributed to male female, then it is distributed to which occupation, and then how many number of students. So like say how many number of participants. So suppose there are 500 participants, so how they are spread out in this region. So you can identify based on the detail which you have. तो यहाँ पे sum की जगह पे you can take count. तो आपका count in numbers आ जाएगा, right? So based on the count, based on the sum, based on the count, you are able to identify कि how many are the participants which are South consumer, how many participants which are in corporate or so. So उस तरह से then you can identify. Okay. So I think box plot we have done, tree map which is done. There are other small things that I will explain you. Like say, I have created a chart, right? So जैसे ये भी आपको पता होना चाहिए if you are using the Power BI. So I have created a very simple clustered chart which is showing me the sales. जो हमने first chart बनाया था and say it is showing with respect to region. Right, so simple chart है. What all we have taken, we have created a simple cluster column chart with the region as well as the sales. So what I want a small smart narrative to be prepared for this, right? So I click on the smart narrative. Okay, sorry. So replace कर दिया, तो I just. So if you can see, okay, the chart has been gone. So what I can do is I can create a chart. This is the chart, this is the sales and the region. Region and sales, right? So if you use this smart narrative आप यहाँ पे side में, you can just put the smart narrative in this chart. So what you can find that according to the AI, it has used the AI and it has created the own script for you. So यदि आप ये script पढ़ोगे, तो you can see that what all has been, there were two scripts which are generated. So this is the script which is generated. If you can see that these are the total number of, which is the highest sum value. But at the highest sum value, higher than the southwest, west is having the highest sum value, right? Which is the higher than the southwest, which is southwest is the lowest and has this value, right? And then you can have the another details also. So it has been created by own. So if you find that there are across the third region and that sales are range from minimum to maximum, the West accounted as the 31.5% of sum of sales. So in this way, it has been calculated and the details has been written by its own according to the analysis which is being understood by through the AI by this Power BI. जैसे अपना एक script बना के it has been explained. So this is again one of the feature which is there in Tableau also. Tableau में भी आपको ये feature मिलेगा. Where when you use the storyline, it will be writing the script for you. So in that case also there is also a storyline like this. Right, next is you can also use this card we will be using tomorrow when we will be doing a dashboard. So there is a card option, like this is the card. When you click on this card, you can display, you want to display certain things in your dashboard. So if I want to display the sales, I can use this and put it at the top. Like say, this is the total sales which is there, right? Similarly, you can create a separate chart for quantity and for profit. So these are the some cards which you simply has to just drag and drop and put the value into it. So if you create a card, the card is being created. When you click on the card has been created, and then you can use, say, suppose quantity. So this is the quantity which has been mentioned at the top, which is the sum of quantity based on the filter which you have used. Right, so the card is clear, and we have used the script which is clear. Now what I can do is I can add a slicer to this chart. So I can add, if you have already selected any item, then it will overwrite, right? So I can put a slicer. So this is my slicer, right? What I want in this slicer, I want maybe state, or I want maybe region we have already taken. So I can have either state, or I can have maybe, okay, maybe I can use this order return, yes or no. Right. So this is the order return. So it has only one parameter, yes or no. So that's why it is not giving me much. So if I click on yes, the order which is returned, right? So this is the sales for which the order has returned, right? So if you can see that the West having a maximum order return as compared to others, and this is the sum of sales which has been comes under the return order, and number of items which has returned is 3053. Right, so this is how you can do a number of things. When you have to identify, you have to find out, you have to create your own dashboard, and you have to like sometimes it happens that you had some work, like say based on the student data or based on this. So instead of doing from the scratch, you simply have to, you can create some kind of templates where you can change the data and it will automatically reflect it. So this can be the how many number of students which are there, how many number of students which have the marks greater than this, less than this. Then you can create different colors also, right? So in you can use conditional formatting also. So attractive graph can be created. So that data has to be according to that, right? So if I click, so this is the overall sales, and if I click on yes, then this is there. If you want to have a certain category, like say I can go for month wise, right? So what is my month wise sales? So I can click here as a filter. I can click the filter as the month, because here there is only one parameter. So if I have the filter with month, right? So if I go for month, and the option which is there is either I can select it as a slicer or a vertical list, right? It can be a vertical list or it can be a drop down. So vertical list may you will be needing space from all the spaces from January to December. If you put a drop down, then it is simply and simply with a single value.
मैम
And
5 मिनट ब्रेक कर लीजिए,
break कर
बहुत
लें?
कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे इतने सारे में.
अच्छा, ठीक है. So we take a break for 5 minutes and then we will meet at 3:55, right? 10 minutes का break कर लें.
थैंक यू मैम.
So we meet at 3:55.
मोनिका मैम, आपने सारे टूल्स यूज किए? कौन सी मैम बोली थी अभी? अमृता मैम बोली थी. आपने सारे टूल्स यूज करके देख लिए?
नहीं नहीं, no ma'am, no ma'am, you're asking me?
या
No, I couldn't. I'm just I'll do it today because I could not, download those tools, no, which ma'am has asked us to download.
मेरे कुछ तो वर्क हो रहा है, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है हमसे.
It's okay ma'am, ऐसा है ना, तो आज अपन कनेक्ट हो जाएंगे because in my case also I couldn't do yesterday's work.
Yeah.
will happen, but we will talk on this.
Okay. Thank you.
Monica ma'am, I can't hear you. You're not audible, ma'am.
मैम अभी ब्रेक पर है ना, 5 मिनट का ब्रेक हुआ है.
तो फिर ये यहाँ पे कैसे हो रहे हैं ये फॉर्मूलाज कैसे टाइप हो रहे हैं?
हाँ मे बी कोई और या तो कर रहा होगा, मैम तो अभी नहीं है कुछ, या
ओके
कुछ
ओके.
ऑटोमेटिक हो रहा होगा कुछ.
योर नेम मैम?
ज्योति.
अच्छा ज्योति मैम, आपको मैं ऐड कर लूंगी व्हाट्सएप पे.
श्योर श्योर. थैंक यू.
या.
Yes, I hope you all are back.
यस मैम, वी आर हियर. हम लोग रिवीजन करके देख रहे थे, कुछ तो हो गया कुछ नहीं हुए. डिकम्पोजिशन ट्री वाला मैं नहीं बना पा रही हूँ, बाकी तो मुझे
कौन
बन
सा
गया.
वाला?
डिकम्पोजिशन ट्री आपने एक बताया था ना अभी,
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
वो नहीं बना हमसे.
कंपोजिशन ट्री 1 मिनट में बना. डिकम्पोजिशन ट्री हमने ये बनाया था.
ये आप मुझे एक बार फिर से बता
हाँ.
दीजिए.
तो इस पे यू हैव टू टेक सम ऑफ सेल्स.
एक
पहले
सेकंड
आपको
मैम,
नंबर लेना है. हाँ.
जस्ट मैं रिकॉर्ड कर लेती हूँ. यस मैम, बताइए प्लीज.
First you have to take sum of sales, and then you have to take different categories. Okay. So like say if I take something else, then I will remove all this. So there is a category which is selected, there is a region which is selected, and sales. Right. So I have taken, first you have to take the sales, right? And then you have to consider. So if you want to find out the sales you are getting from which particular category. Okay.
Okay.
So the technology is the maximum you are getting sales as compared to furniture and this. And if you want to identify like from which region you are getting the sales, so there will be, this will be the second category, that is the region. Right. So for the technology, you will be getting maximum from East region, then the West from furniture. Furniture may you will be getting from West, or you can have the vice versa also. So how to do that is like say if you have identified certain category, you can cross it, and then you can select based on your choice. So you can click here, you can say the highest value. Based on the highest value, it will be like distributed.
Ma'am,
And then you have consider like say if you want to consider region first, then you can consider region. So this will be according to the region. The West is doing good, and when you click on this, you have the another, that is a category. So you can have a furniture in West is, and East if you want to see that which is doing better. So technology is doing better in East, and in Central if you can see, click on this. Right. So technology is doing in Central and in South, and Central may again technology is doing better. So
Thank
you
you,
can
ma'am.
add on you can add on the categories ke according, then you can have much more details.
Ma'am, I can't see region and category on my chart.
Region and category, yeah, you can I have just changed the things because last time when we had created the chart, we had used the order return. We want to find out how many of order return for
In
which
spite
particular
of
region it
no,
is, which
no,
particular. So you
yeah,
can
I
select
Writ-
according to it.
Return is not in our sheet actually.
Acha, return is not in
Ma'am,
your sheet.
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
what I'm saying is region and category I had added here, but I can't see, it's not visible here on the
Okay.
chart. That's what.
Okay, fine. So it is not visible because it is there when you click on this add. you find there and you have not selected that. It is showing here. When you click on a plus sign, is it showing this the remaining one? Like say
Yes,
if I
ma'am.
use
Wait.
category, then region will be there. Right, if I use category, then only left with the region. So region will be available in here.
Okay, okay. I'll add it. I'll add it. Thank you, ma'am.
So you have to add. Right. So I think it is clear, Jyoti. Can we move on?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. I'll try.
Yeah.
Kuch
it's
problem
fine.
hua, then I'll again discuss it.
Yes. So this is, you can see that we are working on the slicer or there is an option called slicer. In the slicer option, there are there you can have the combo, you can have the list. So we have seen that there is a drop down also. So how to use that? Because once you have put it in this particular or particular canvas, so it is automatically according to that. So if you want to see for the January, what is the sales, or individual, if you want to select, you can select individually. And if you want to select multiple, then you can press the shift button and click on control and then other button, right? So you, if you want the January, February, March sales to be displayed, right? So you can select multiple by using a control button. And if you, there must be say all, I think there is a multiple select, all select. Achha, there are all blank and there must be all. By default, it is all that I have created. So maybe you can click somewhere. So it is by default, it is coming as all. So if you have selected somewhere at the right side, at the blank the page, then it will be selecting as all. So this is for all the details, and it is showing you if you want to select particular, then you can select. There can be a different ways to display the display that we have used a drop down. So we are getting this combo. If you can change the display, you can have the list or you can have any other option. So most of the options which are there in this particular in the second link, and I think there is analyze further analysis. Right. So drop down option is there. Then there is a selection option. If you want to do multiple select, show select all, right? So earlier it was not showing so select all. So if you select all is selected, then it will be. So you need not have to take, it will automatically get this option available. So you can browse those options which is available in your format. Most of the functions are there in the format for all the items which all the visualization items which is there in the in the options which is available in the format may you can see, like if I selected this, so format may you can have the multiple options which are there. So I think most of the visualization which are normally used is covered. If you find anything to be covered in extra, so you let me know. I will we will be covering that in tomorrow's class. Right, and some of the visuals like say gauge or maybe filter, because this filter options we have not covered much. So if while creating the dashboard, we will be using this filter option so that it can also be clear. You can also create your own measures. I have created one measure. You can based on some conditional formatting, you can create your own measures also. We have created a measure. We have added a new column. in the same way, you can create a measure from here. So that I will be covering tomorrow how to create a measure and how to use it, and also the creating of dashboard. So we will see that how a dashboard can be created, because 90% of work is already done, because you know how to create different visuals. The only thing is which is left is for a particular problem, how you can identify the KPIs, the like key performance indicator, what are KPIs for that particular option which is there, and then you are able to create certain graphs based on the KPIs. So once you have identified the KPIs, like what my senior management want me to go for, so you identify certain KPIs, you discuss certain KPIs, and then you can draw different charts for each and every KPI. So then that will be in the format of the dashboard. So what you can do as an exercise is use the another data set which is already provided to you, Amazing Mart, and create these charts which we have already created with the Supermart Superstore data. Right? And then feel free to ask questions, and try to share the screenshot in the WhatsApp group, so that others can also be motivated to do practice by themselves, because this is something which is based on the practice. How much you practice, then only you can get the benefit of such sessions. So my advice is you to take some data set, to explore the option, click here and there, and try to identify what all you are getting, and what all is what all you can explore according to the time spent by you on this tool.
Madam,
Yes,
are you
Dipali?
going to share your Excel sheets, these Power BI sheets that you have?
Yeah, I can share. I have saved third and fourth. I have created one. So I will share day one, day one. So we have not done much, but day 2 and day 3 and 4 I can share.
Okay, ma'am, again, the recording or the videos you have shared no yesterday, we're
It's
not
not
able
working.
to access it. Actually, I missed it. Missed
So
those.
no,
I mean,
it is showing it's private only.
Okay.
sorry,
I will
sorry.
just check it out from the, it is not opening now. I got a message that the video is not opening.
Yes, ma'am.
The second video is not opening. I got a message in the group. So I just inform to the person who has from where we have received the recording, to send the correct one. Yes. So you can practice by yourself. You have like the 15-20 minutes with you. You just take the screenshot and share. I think Jyoti, I have to discuss with you. Yesterday you are not able to add the like chart. Are you able to do that?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. मैम कल लास्ट डे है, तो हमारा सर्टिफिकेट्स भी हमें कल ही मिलेंगे या बाद में?
हाँ, कल मिल जाएंगे. अदरवाइज सैटरडे को यू विल बी रिसीविंग, सैटरडे और संडे.
Okay.
So I'll just share the attendance link and feedback link with you, or I'll put it in the WhatsApp. So WhatsApp पे आप जो भी आप practice कर रहे हो, like I have received some of the extension file, the like Power BI extension file. So instead of Power BI extension file, I request you to share the screenshot of the things which you have done, so that other can also be motivated and do that.
Okay.
And do the practice, right? So I think I have received few of them, but I want you to like share in the WhatsApp group only, so that other can also be motivated. So you can do it for Amazing Mart. Amazing Mart, do you need a questions, or you do it by yourself?
Yeah, you have made it done today.
You can keep the questions as well. You can put it on the WhatsApp group so that we can
Fine,
try it
fine.
out.
Fine. So maybe you have to say, because the same I have seen that it has order, it has region. So same type of exercise you can also apply on that. Or I will mention. I will see and I will mention the questions in that WhatsApp group. So that you can, once you have done it, just take a screenshot and give it. I will not give you much questions. I will give 2 or 3 questions. Just take a screenshot and put it in the WhatsApp group so that you can do practice. Anything else? Any other query or any other doubt you have?
Yes, ma'am. Like the best source of reference in case we want to fall back. Yesterday you said something about tutorial, but I couldn't. Some connectivity problem.
Okay. I told you like there are some there can be some textbooks on Power BI, or you can also look for some tutorials, hands-on tutorials, because most of the exercises, lab exercises, that are based on tutorials. Yeah. So it gives you the hands-on this thing, like how to create this chart. So you will look for some tutorials where you can, where it will be helpful for you to create charts by your own.
मैम some PDF notes या कुछ interactive questions कभी इंटरव्यू में पूछे जा सकते हैं. Short questions type.
Everything is there in Google.
Yeah.
Or you can open the chat GPT. Chat GPT, you can ask the interview questions on Power BI. You will be getting 15, 20 or more than 40, 50 questions.
Okay. Thank you. मैंने स्क्रीनशॉट शेयर किया है अपना.
अपना कर दिया. ठीक है. Hello, thank you so much. Next tomorrow we will be meeting at same time.
Thank you,
We
ma'am.
just practice because this all we will be using for the dashboard. All this we will be using for the dashboard, different charts. And
Ma'am,
everything.
we'll be posting these
Thank you,
questions in
ma'am.
WhatsApp group also.
Yes, I will be posting the questions
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am, for exercise and for
for
practice.
exercise. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Data-
along with this
Ma'am,
Power BI
आपने
files.
डेटा
Yes.
सेंड करने को बोला था अभी कोई सा.
Data.
अभी आपने बोला था ना कोई एक्सेल आप सेंड करेंगी आप मुझे को.
नहीं, एक्सेल तो आप लोग के पास है ऑलरेडी. अमेजिंग मार्ट का है.
नहीं, मैम ने जो पीपीटी अभी बनाई है ना, शी विल बी शेयरिंग दैट पीपीटी डे वाइज, राइट मैम? ओके.
हाँ, not PPT, this Power
Power BI
file.
files.
Power BI
Yeah.
files. Yeah.
She wants
Okay,
Power
ma'am.
BI.
Okay.
This I will be sharing right now.
Okay.
ठीक है. चलो, bye for today. Then we will be meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Please
ma'am.
share the attendance link.
Yeah, I will be sharing the attendance link in WhatsApp group.
Ma'am, kindly share it in the official mail, ma'am, because my instrument doesn't. Yeah.
Video or attendance link?
Whatever, ma'am. No, not that, ma'am.
Video, no?
The recording and all those.
The recording. Yes. Okay.
Because I'm not able to, because there's some problem, instrumental problem.
Fine. I will do that. I will send a mail to you related to the Power BI file.
Okay. That you'll be sharing to everybody, right?
Yes.
Yes.
My files, whatever we have practiced, I will be sharing that.
Yeah, from day 2 to not
Day
day
two
1 was little introductory. So
Day 2 and day 3.
and
Day 3 and day 4. Yeah, 2 days also.
right. Okay, ma'am.
Hello, bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.